What if I told you that one trial, meant to expose a single man's dark secrets, could end up pulling down some of the biggest names in Hollywood? This isn't just about Diddy anymore. What started as Cassie's fight for justice has spiraled into something no one saw coming. Federal investigations, leaked insider summaries, and whispers of tapes so explosive they could destroy careers, shatter reputations, and drag powerful players into the spotlight. And the craziest part? The most shocking details are still hidden behind closed doors, for now. At first, this was seen as just another celebrity courtroom drama. Cassie's accusations against Diddy, claims of abuse, control, and those now infamous freak-offs shook fans, but it felt contained. People thought it would stay focused on their troubled history. But then the case took a turn no one could have predicted. Suddenly, this wasn't just about two people anymore. The prosecution started introducing evidence that pointed to a far bigger, far darker story. Insiders in the courtroom started whispering about what was really being presented behind those closed doors, tapes, recordings, and testimonies that made Cassie's original claims look like just the tip of the iceberg. The energy around the case shifted overnight. This wasn't gossip anymore. This wasn't tabloid headlines trying to sell clicks. What we're seeing now is federal-level courtroom drama, the kind that could expose a network of secrets stretching across music, film, and entertainment's inner circle. It's not just about what Diddy allegedly did to Cassie. It's about what might have been happening in the shadows for years, things insiders either ignored, covered up, or were too scared to reveal. And as more names got dragged in, the trial stopped being about one man. It became a window into a hidden world that's now on the edge of being exposed. The moment the tapes were mentioned, everything changed. What people thought would be just courtroom arguments and legal back and forth suddenly became something far more intense. Insiders say these weren't just random recordings, they were explicit, graphic, and impossible to ignore. The kind of tapes that, once heard, you can't unhear. According to people inside the courtroom, the recordings reportedly feature Diddy, Will Smith, and Meek Mill in situations that no one ever expected to be made public. And this wasn't Twitter gossip. These tapes, or at least parts of them, were played behind closed doors. No phones allowed. No cameras. No journalists typing out notes. Just silence, and not the awkward kind. The kind of silence where everyone realizes they're hearing something that could change everything. One insider said the room went ice cold. The content? Described as male-on-male, graphic, and undeniable. Another source claimed it included Diddy laughing in the background while unspeakable acts took place. And that was just the start. The fact that no audio, no clip, no leak has surfaced makes it worse. People are asking, why hasn't it leaked? Who's protecting it? In a world where everything finds its way online, the total blackout around these tapes has only fueled the fire. Just when it seemed like the tapes were the peak of the drama, the courtroom doors opened to new voices, people who had been close to Diddy, who had stayed silent for years, but were now ready to talk. And these weren't random names looking for clout. These were insiders, ex-bad boy artists, former staff, people who had been at the parties, on the tours, in the inner circle. One name that hit hard? Dawn Richards. You might remember her from Donity Kane, one of Diddy's biggest girl groups. She stepped up and testified. And when she walked out of that courtroom, the cameras caught it all. No smiles. No relief. Just frustration, exhaustion, like she had been carrying the weight of the truth for too long. Insiders say her words backed Cassie's claims completely. Dawn didn't hold back. She confirmed that what Cassie said, those dark accusations, wasn't fiction. It happened. And if that wasn't enough, Diddy's own daughter was spotted leaving court, pale, shaken, silent. No paparazzi dared yell out questions. No fake smiles for the cameras. Just a chilling reminder that this case isn't just about legal battles anymore. It's tearing at the personal lives, families, and legacies of everyone involved. The moment Will Smith's name got tied to those tapes, the internet lost its mind. What started as shocking courtroom revelations turned into a full-on frenzy. Old interviews, awkward red carpet moments, podcast clips. Suddenly, everything Will had ever done with Diddy was being rewatched, reanalyzed, and reinterpreted. People weren't seeing a beloved actor anymore. They were seeing clues they swore had been hiding in plain sight. Then came the bombshell. Brother Bilal, Will's former assistant, stepped out of the shadows. And what he said, it lit the internet on fire. He didn't just hint or imply. He claimed he'd seen Will himself in explicit situations, describing in graphic detail moments that, if true, would change everything we thought we knew about one of Hollywood's most protected stars. And it didn't stop there. Bilal claimed he once walked in on Will and actor Dwayne Martin in a scene straight out of a scandalous tabloid headline, except this wasn't gossip. These were allegations made under oath, in connection to an already explosive trial. The fallout? Instant. The internet turned into a digital CSI, digging up every interaction, every photo, every video of Will and Diddy. And with each receipt people found, the web of suspicion grew deeper. While Will tried to stay cool under pressure, Meek Mill's reaction sent up even more red flags. The second his name got linked to those courtroom tapes, chaos followed. Instead of laying low or addressing it calmly, Meek spiraled into a defensive storm on social media. Tweet after tweet, post after post, each one more frantic than the last. And the more he tried to deny it, the more people started to believe something was up. Old jokes about Meek's close ties to Diddy, once seen as harmless trolling, suddenly didn't seem so funny. Fans started dragging out receipts, videos, photos, awkward moments that people had laughed off before. One clip that went viral again? Meek at a party with billionaire Michael Rubin, hopping around like he lost a bet, looking visibly uncomfortable while voices in the background laughed. Another? Diddy throwing Meek a birthday party packed with shirtless dudes by the pool, calling him daddy on camera. That word became a meme overnight, haunting every post Meek made after. And when Meek finally snapped, tweeting, "I'm not fruity. Stop playing with me," the internet just doubled down. Screenshots, old tweets, videos, every cozy moment with Diddy was thrown back at him. What was once harmless banter had turned into ammunition, and Meek looked like he was losing the perception battle fast. But here's the part that's driving everyone wild. For all the noise online, for all the accusations and speculation, not a single second of those tapes has leaked. Nothing. No audio clip, no blurry still image, no insider snippet accidentally dropped on the web. In an age where everything leaks, where court documents, private videos, even hacked iCloud files end up online in hours, this total blackout is deafening. People can't stop asking, who's protecting this? Is it about shielding powerful names? Or is the content so explosive that even the government is scared to let it out? Normally, evidence in criminal trials is public or at least accessible in some form. But here, silence. No explanation, no statement, no hint as to why the tapes are being kept locked away. And that's only fueling the fire. Because the longer the tapes stay hidden, the more people believe there's something massive being covered up. Are these recordings just too dangerous, with too many famous names tangled up in them? Is there a deal going on behind the scenes to keep this from blowing up bigger? Whatever the reason, the silence isn't protecting anyone. It's making the internet dig harder and turning suspicion into obsession. For years, Diddy wasn't just a music mogul, he was untouchable. The flashy parties, the bad boy for life energy, the billionaire friends, the vote campaigns, the cultural influence. He wasn't just part of the scene, he was the scene. But now, that empire is crumbling and it's happening in real time. The trial has forced people to look back at all the red flags they ignored. His obsession with control over artists. The strange interviews where he'd half joke, half dodge questions. The long list of artists who left Bad Boy broken or forgotten. Day 26. Donity Kane. Loon. And let's not forget Aubrey O'Day. She's been trying to blow the whistle for years, but no one wanted to listen. Until now. And what's worse for Diddy is that these courtroom testimonies aren't coming from random haters. They're coming from people who lived it. Don Richards' words didn't just back Cassie. They painted Diddy as someone far darker, far more dangerous than fans ever imagined. The image is cracking. The legacy is in free fall. And what we're seeing isn't just the fall of a celebrity. It's the unraveling of a man who, for decades, seemed too big, too powerful, to ever face this kind of reckoning. What's becoming clear is this: the trial stopped being about Diddy alone a long time ago. Every new detail, every name tied to those tapes, hints at something bigger. A hidden network, a culture that's been operating behind the velvet curtain of Hollywood for years. And now that curtain's being pulled back. If those tapes ever leak, it won't just be one man's downfall. It could spark lawsuits, end careers, and drag in names we haven't even heard yet. The damage wouldn't stop with Diddy, Will, or Meek. It would ripple across the entire entertainment industry, pulling in anyone who was at those parties, in those rooms, part of that inner circle. And that's what has people so hooked. This isn't just about crimes, it's about power, influence. The kind of connections that can protect people for years, until they can't anymore. The silence around the tapes, the lack of official answers, it's only making people dig deeper, convinced that what's hiding in the shadows could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Hollywood's elite. The truth is, if even a fraction of what's been whispered is real, the industry isn't ready for the fallout. And neither are the stars caught in its blast zone. And here's the wildest part: the most shocking detail of all might not be the names already exposed, but the ones still hidden. Because if Diddy, Will, and Meek are only the tip of the iceberg, who else is tangled up in this mess? The silence around those tapes isn't just strange, it's terrifying. We live in a time where nothing stays buried. Leaks happen, secrets spill. But this? Total blackout. No clips, no stills, no audio. So the question everyone's asking is simple: who's protecting this? And why? Is it about saving reputations? Preserving billion-dollar deals? Or is it because what's on those tapes could shake the foundation of Hollywood itself? One thing's for sure, this isn't over. The internet doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive. And when people feel like the truth is being kept from them, they don't stop digging. If these tapes ever surface, they won't just damage a few careers. They could pull back the curtain on an entire hidden world, a world darker and more twisted than anyone ever imagined. So stay watching, because this story is only just beginning. And let me know in the comments, do you think the truth will ever come out? Or is this one of those secrets that will stay buried forever?